Hi guys, it's Ksenia. Welcome back to my channel. This is gonna be the second video in this little series that I've started. I kind of started it unintentionally, but then I was like, no, I really like the title of this and I want to make more of these videos. So if you missed my first video, that was Dear Perfume Snobs, I will link that up here. That one was focusing on body sprays that smell really expensive. And by the way, if you're just stumbling on this video and you're like, what are you talking about? What is Dear Perfume Snobs? Like, what? Pretty much in these series, I like to focus on body mists and perfumes that are commonly judged. These videos are a little bit dedicated to all the perfume snobs. Pretty much what that means is people that feel that they are too good for body sprays or cheaper fragrances. They only wear their Chanels and they don't know anything else. And these videos are kind of a way to kind of debunk that, because in my opinion, there is so many perfumes that I've tried that I've literally found for as low as $16 that smell and perform so much better than perfumes that I've bought that have been almost $400. I'm a firm believer that you do not need to spend an arm and a leg to smell amazing. Of course, it's nice to treat yourself every once in a while, but if you can't afford those arm and a leg fragrances, that doesn't mean that you can't get to smelling that good, because there is so many options, especially now. There's perfumes coming out left and right. There is so many options for you to smell amazing without having to drop a car payment on a perfume. This is gonna be like a top 15 list, so we're gonna be here for a while. Definitely grab a snack, get cozy, do what you gotta do your chores, do your laundry, something, because we're gonna be here for a while. Definitely check out the body mist version that I did of this type video, but today we're gonna focus on perfumes that are super affordable. The majority of these are actually under 30 bucks, but I have to title this video under 50 because there are a couple that are a little bit higher, so I didn't want to lie in the title, but still nothing exceeds 50 in this video. So if you want to know my opinion on what the most expensive smelling cheapies are that will get you similar scents to some really high-end fragrances and even just on their own, then just keep watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and turn your post notifications on, and let's get started. The only perfumes that I'm excluding out of this video are Arab fragrances, because this video is perfumes that are affordable that smell super expensive, and every single Arab fragrance that I've ever bought would be in this video, and then this would be like a top 45. So I didn't want to make this too overwhelming. But with that said, pretty much every Arab perfume that I've tried has actually blown me away. Like, so many of those fragrances smell 10 times more expensive than some of my most expensive perfumes. They give you so much and you pay so little. It's actually crazy to me. I will always recommend Arab fragrances, and actually stay tuned because I bought a bunch of Arab fragrances on Amazon that I'm going to make an updated Arab fragrance haul video. So that's the only reason why you won't see any of those perfumes in here. Only reason being this would be really overwhelming because all of those would make it into this list. Right. First up is MAC fragrances. There's a few MAC perfumes. The only one that I'm not including in this video that I have in my collection is MAC Candy Yum Yum. While I really love that, I try to be a little bit picky because of course there's other perfumes that are affordable that I own that smell amazing, but this video is specifically the perfumes that smell amazing and smell really expensive and high-end. Not to badmouth any other affordable perfumes I have, but you know what I mean. These two specifically smell so rich and luxe and delicious to me. So first, let's start with MAC's Creme de Nude. This is a spicy, sweet, warm, powdery vanilla. It's so sexy because of that vanilla. This also has caramel in it, but it also has a suede note, and I think it's that suede note that gives us that expensive feel. The suede note in here just adds like this leathery touch that I think gives this so much sexiness. It gives it an edge. I find this to be such a perfect date night type fragrance. It's a really great fragrance, and this is the only one where I have to admit I kind of lied. This is a little bit over 50. It's 57, but I didn't want to make this like a under $60 video because this is the only one that even goes that high in this entire video. Just know it's 57. Well, that's if you get the 1.7 ounce. If you get a smaller size, then it is cheaper. And then there is one of my all-time favorite perfumes, which is MAC Turquatic. I've been using MAC Turquatic Oh, kind of matches my vibe today. I've been using this perfume since high school. I feel like in high school, more than anything, this was like my signature. It was one of my favorites. But still to this day, after trying hundreds of perfumes and literally smelling perfumes is like my job, I can still say this is one of my top most favorite, most amazing perfumes ever. They just did such a good job on this. This will forever and ever be in my collection. It is one of my most complimented perfumes. Max Aquatic, it smells aquatic, obviously, but it's so much more. It's aquatic and it's cedary, so it has that rich woodiness to it. It's citrusy and crisp. It reminds me of the summertime. I really don't pick up on the florals in here too much. It's just a citrusy, crisp, woody, like cedar-like scent in the best way. It is one of the most unique citrus fragrances that I've ever had. One of the most sexy citrus perfumes. I feel like when I think of citrus perfumes, the first word that comes to mind is definitely not sexy, but this is the sexiest of all citrus perfumes, and I freaking love Max Aquatic. This is so good, so underrated, but it's a need. Another brand that I think does really expensive smelling perfumes at a really affordable price is Kelvin Klein perfumes. Honestly, I would show like all my Kelvin Klein perfume collection in this video because I feel like every single one of them has been so affordable and yet delivers. Not only are the scents 10 out of 10, but performance of these perfumes, they last forever. Like, you never have to worry about longevity, sillage, projection. It's all a 10 out of 10 with these perfumes. These two I decided to pick. I guess an honorable mention would be Euphoria, also by Kelvin Klein. It's more pomegranate-y and it has a bit of a unisex vibe to it as well. That's a big favorite, but I decided to stick with these two for this video. First one being Kelvin Klein Women, which I will always talk about. Hate the bottle. I really don't like the bottle. It's so bulky. What even is this top? It's just too much, but the fragrance itself, I always say this is like the 12,000 times a better version of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. A lot of people don't like Light Blue because it's a little too masculine leaning. I feel like the lack of sweetness in that perfume and how crisp it is makes it a little bit more unisex. This one I feel like is the feminine version of Light Blue. It still gets you that aquatic, citrusy, woody kind of scent that Light Blue has, but it has a touch more sweetness to it and just more of a feminine vibe. I feel like this one is just more well made. This is so refined and so put together. Even though it has all kinds of notes in here, nothing is too screechy or too loud in it. Everything just meshes so well with one another. Like in here you'll find grapefruit, eucalyptus, black pepper, tons of florals, tea, a raspberry note, cedar, ambroxan, musk, cashmere, violet. There's so many notes, but everything meshes so beautifully. You can kind of pick out a little bit of each one of the notes in here, but like I said, nothing is too much in it. It is the perfect fragrance. Especially if you were kind of iffy on Light Blue and you just wished it was better. This is just the better version of Light Blue. Is Kelvin Klein Women. And then another one that is super underrated. I hear nobody really talking about this. This is Sheer Beauty by Kelvin Klein. I also really like the original Beauty, but this one specifically, this is literally a dupe. Honestly, a better dupe, much like Kelvin Klein Women, which like I said is a better version of Light Blue, which leans more on the masculine side. On the same wavelength, Sheer Beauty is a great dupe and 10 times of a better dupe to Chanel Chance Eau Fresh, which is another fragrance that leans very, very masculine because it's just got all cedar notes in it, just a lot of woody notes, and you'll find that colognes will have more woody dominant notes in them, and I feel like that one kind of leans that way. I really love Chanel Chance Eau Fresh. I only decluttered it out of my collection because I just found that I wasn't really using it. I was just trying to like use it up. I just wasn't enjoying it, I guess. And Sheer Beauty gives me that while also giving me a feminine touch. This has a Bellini note in it, so it has this like sparkling feel, which makes it effervescent and bubbly. Then it also has those citrusy notes. It still has a woody base, but the sandalwood that's in the base of this is also accompanied by vanille, so it just adds a little bit more of a sweetness to it, and it's just so beautiful, so rich smelling. Like I said, it's just like the better, more feminine version of Chanel Chance Eau Fresh. Okay, I think it's a known thing that Zara's fragrances are some of the most affordable, smell expensive fragrances that you can find, especially the ones that come in these bottles specifically. These ones are kind of honestly made to be perfume dupes. I think all of them smell like really rich designers or niche fragrances. So these two specifically are actually both dupes of two very high-end niche fragrances. Let's start with this one because I actually have never spoke about this on my channel. I'm actually going to be including it in a future haul soon, but I picked up Hipster Oud because I've been looking into amouage guidance, and I need you guys to tell me in the comments if you think that that would be a scent that I would like, because wow, I have never heard so many polarizing comments ever before on a scent. People either love that perfume, and when I say love, they're like, this is my most complimented perfume, it's the best perfume in the world. And then there's people that say it literally smells so bad that they hate it so much. So it is just the most confusing perfume ever, and it is a pricey perfume. So I don't really know what to do. I don't know if I should buy it. I don't know if I should wait on it. So I wanted to find a dupe to kind of give me an idea of what this scent would be like. And I came across Hipster Oud of many people saying that not really the opening of this smells similar, but the dry down of this smells super similar to amouage guidance. So I went ahead and picked this up. This was so inexpensive. It was like under 20 bucks. Notes wise, this has red rose, amber, black currant, saffron musk, agar wood. So it has oud, pink pepper, orange blossom, and lily of the valley. I think the oud in this is what makes this smell really expensive, but the oud, this is one of the most tamed oud fragrances ever. I barely even smell it, but I know it's adding something in here. You know what? This reminds me so much of the new Sol de Janeiro scent, the Cheirosa 59, the Delicia Drench, the purple one, the spider scent. Smelling this is reminding me so much of the body cream that I recently reviewed on my channel. This lasts all day, few days. It lasts a few days. It's a really powerful scent. And I've also heard that about amouage guidance. Apparently amouage guidance is one of the most long-lasting, strongest perfumes ever. This smells like a really warm amber type of scent. Like the warmth of this is so prominent. You smell this and it's warm. It's just a very warm perfume. Definitely smell that amber in here. I feel like that's one of the top notes that I smell throughout this entire fragrance. It's very strong. I haven't worn this too much. I think I've only worn this a few times, and those few times I had to literally scrub this in the shower because it was that strong. This is nice. Smells super expensive, and the fact that it's being compared to amouage guidance that is like $360, I think. This was under 20 bucks, like I said. And then another Zara scent that I love. I've worn this many times. I get compliments on this. This is so good, and that is Rose Gourmand. This is compared to Intense Cafe by Montel, and it smells exactly like Intense Cafe. Like, I mean, these are the closest dupes I've ever smelled. I don't own Intense Cafe, but I have had samples of it in my collection many times. And honestly, no, I'm not gonna spray this. I'm going to the gym after this video, and this is too powerful of a scent to spray even one spray on me. I will smell this for like 3 days straight. Something about these Zara perfumes, especially in these bottles, they last and project crazily. Like, they will fill up not even a room, they'll fill up a building in a matter of seconds. This only has rose, amber, and vanilla in it, so that's why it's called Rose Gourmand, although it's not gourmand at all. So I'm not sure why it's called gourmand. It's just a sweet rose. It's like a vanilla and rose mixture, which is exactly what Intense Cafe is. But Intense Cafe has more of that coffee type scent in it. This one doesn't really have that. I feel like this scent reminds me of walking into a department store, like a perfume store or something. It's like a very perfumey perfume. And I know that's like, what? But those of you that get it, get it. I always talk about Lolita Lempicka, and I always will. If you're into cherry perfumes and you love that sweet lipsticky licorice sort of vibe, you will love Lolita Lempicka, because that's exactly what this is. I grew up with this scent. It is one of the most amazing sweet fragrances. Super sexy, very feminine, really fun, flirty. It's so whimsical and fun. It just reminds me of a little fairy. Every time I smell this, it reminds me of a fairy. Like, this is what Tinkerbell smells like. So obviously Cloud has been deemed the dupe of Baccarat Rouge, and a lot of people obviously love Cloud, Baccarat Rouge, and that whole DNA has really popped off and people are obsessed with it. I am too. I really love it, but I wanted to include a new scent to this mix that I feel like is super underrated, and that is Born Dreamer. This took me by surprise. This perfume is literally by Charli D'Amelio, and I don't mean to like badmouth her. I don't follow her. I don't really know anything about her, but she created a little masterpiece, because this scent is like the fruitier version of Cloud It reminds me a lot of Cloud and also God is a Woman by Ariana Grande. If they had a baby, it would be Born Dreamer. It has that whipped creamy, sweet kind of scent that Cloud has. But then that pear, sweetness, juicy, rich fruitiness that God is a Woman has, that is exactly what Born Dreamer smells like. And I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this scent. I need to go get backups of it. I got this at TJ Maxx for like 16 bucks. And it is so good. It smells so delicious. Of course, I have to talk about Eyelish, but I'm not only gonna talk about Eyelish in this video, I also want to talk about the second Billie Eilish perfume, the Eyelish number 2. And even the Eyelish number 3, although that one I don't know what it smells like. I have not bought it. I'm waiting for it to hit my stores, but it's taken a long time. I think it came out a couple months ago, but it's still not in Ulta stores. So I'm waiting till it goes to store, and I will definitely pick that up because it's like a cherry red, amazing looking fragrance. If you guys have picked that up, let me know your opinions on it. But both the original and Eyelish number 2 that I have tried smell really expensive. The second one is literally a spot-on dupe to Sental 33 by Le Labo, so that already tells you how expensive that smells. But I don't love that one just because I've never been a huge fan of Sental 33. Eyelish number 1 though, ooh, if you are a vanilla lover, you would love the original Eyelish. This is the warmest, creamiest, sweet vanilla while also having this like spicy kick to it and just this rich, expensive scent to it. This is such a highly complimented perfume. Even people that don't like the smell of perfume like this perfume. And I know that for a fact because I know I've told this story before, but one night I had some of my friends over and my best friend and her fiance were over our house, and I had a bunch of my perfumes out and we were all just smelling them. And he is somebody that is really like almost allergic to perfumes. Like he'll start sneezing. He's just really sensitive to perfumes, and he smelled this and he loved it. And then my best friend went and bought it, and she tells me to this day that this is one of his favorite perfumes. So that just tells you, even non-perfume lovers love Eyelish. But seriously, it is so good. Definitely in like my top 3 most amazing ways that vanilla has ever been done. This is gonna be another one for my sweet perfume lovers, but Yes I Am by Cacharel. Pretty much all of them have like a similar vibe, but definitely the original one takes the cake for like the best one. The original Yes I Am is a really lactonic, creamy, sweet, milky scent. It literally has milk in it. It has caramel, it has vanilla, it has ginger, it has licorice. It's super sweet. Literally a red lipstick kind of scent, just giving you all the sexy vibes. I know Demi Rowling has recently been talking a lot about this, and she mainly talks about really expensive niche fragrances on her channel. So for her to talk about as cheap of a perfume as that, I mean, I think this is literally like 20 bucks. Tells you something, girl. Another hugely underrated scent is Diesel Loverdose. This is Red Kiss. This is like Black Opium if Black Opium didn't have the coffee note and instead had cocoa, chocolatey kind of a note. It has that rich, sexy sweetness of Black Opium, but it doesn't have the slightly bitterness of that coffee that's in that fragrance. Instead, this one has hazelnut, it has cacao pod, this has black currant in it. It is so sexy and intoxicating. A red kind of fragrance through and through, and it just smells out of this world. Definitely like a clubbing scent. It's a little bit more of like a raunchier kind of fragrance. I have been filming all day, and let me tell you, talking for prolonged periods of time will make your voice so strained that your throat will literally start to hurt. Okay, back to it. All right, we're down to the last 4 fragrances. Hang in there, guys. We're almost done. Couture Couture by Juicy Couture. You already know. I've been talking about this so much lately, but I have to include it in this video. And this was actually included in one of my most viewed videos, which is this video right here, where I also talked about a similar topic to this video. And actually there's a few perfumes featured from that video that are still just as amazing smelling that I have to talk about in this video as well. So Couture Couture being one of them. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of Juicy Couture's most richest, classiest, most amazing perfumes ever. Couture Couture smells so grown up to me, but still has a fun kick to it. It's not entirely serious because it is a juicy scent at the end of the day. So it does have a bit of that OG juicy DNA, which I love. But this has a plummy white floral, which normally I don't love white florals either, but hey, they work in here. I think it's just that plum that just does something for me. The amber, the vanilla. It's a sweet, warm floral with a tiny bit of powderiness, has some woody. I find this super sexy, and every time I wear this, my husband gives me a compliment. It's very feminine and like ethereal smelling. That is just one of those scents that's a very major crowd pleaser, and people will definitely come up and ask you what you're wearing. It's just so good. You already know, it's been a minute. I feel like it's actually been so long since the beginning of my channel that I've included Guess Seductive Noir in my videos. But the OGs will know. Let me know if you've been with me since the first time I ever talked and hauled this perfume. And you know I don't shut up about this fragrance, but it has been a minute since I've talked about it. So I feel like this would be the perfect video to reintroduce this 20 new viewers that I have on here. Get your hands on Guess Seductive Noir. I can't tell you how many of you guys have come to me in my Instagram DMs or here in my comments telling me that you found me through this perfume or that you bought this perfume and to this day you love it and it's like one of your favorites. This is so expensive smelling and I got this for literally 16 bucks. This is the better version, 20 times better version of Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. I felt like Mon Guerlain was a little squeechy for me. This is creamy, it's refined. Everything in here is mixed to perfection. I should not actually be spraying this right now because I'm going to the gym like I said, and this is pretty strong, but oh my god. This smells so good, especially once it's dried down. There's something so dark, mysterious, and just so intoxicating about Guess Seductive Noir. This has sage, it has peony, it has iris, which is one of my favorite notes that I've always said iris smells like makeup to me, and this one has a little bit of that. It has vanilla, it has Haitian vetiver, and it even has velvet. And it's definitely a smooth, velvety kind of scent. It has so much depth in it and even like a bit of creaminess, I would say. I don't know, it's a really hard fragrance to describe, but if you ever smell Mon Guerlain, this is a million times better. And another OG perfume that I included in that video is Perry Ellis Orchid, which is so underrated. I wouldn't even say underrated. Literally nobody has ever talked about this ever, and I kind of randomly stumbled across this at Burlington one day like 2 years ago, and wow, this scent smells so expensive, so good. It's perfect for a sweet lover because it is sweet above all else, and I'm not really sure what, if anything, I could compare this to because I find this a pretty original scent. It kind of reminds me like maybe slightly of Euphoria from Kelvin Klein, but it's more smooth. I feel like Euphoria is a little too strong and can be a bit too much for some people. I personally love it, but this is just like a smoother version, more refined version of Euphoria, I guess, if I could compare it to anything. This has dewberry and it has passion fruit in it, so it just has this sweet, juicy, fruity. It has amber, which you can clearly smell. Jasmine, tonka bean, vanilla. It's sweet through and through, but not nauseating, sickly sweet. It has Indonesian patchouli, but the patchouli is not too much. It just adds a bit more of an expensive touch to this scent, and I really love it. I freaking love it. If you look out and find this at your Burlington, it's like 20 bucks. Definitely pick it up. I'm looking it up on fragrancenet.com right now, and it is only $28. So you really can't beat that price point. It smells so good. If you're a sweet lover, I think Perry Ellis Orchid would be right up your alley. And then the very last perfume I have on here is Roberto Cavalli by Roberto Cavalli. It's just the Eau de Parfum. This one is such a great dupe for Kayali's Deja Vu perfume. This has pink pepper, African orange flower, vanille, benzoin, and tonka bean in it. It's like a creamy, spicy vanilla. I love spicy vanillas, as you can tell. This scent is so feminine and rich. It smells like a bougie auntie, and that's in the best way. Like she's a mom, but she's a cool mom. You know, it's that kind of vibe that Roberto Cavalli gives. It's really, really bougie. Let's just say that. It has simple notes, but it actually smells really complex and definitely smells way more expensive than it is. I think I found that at Marshall's for under 20 bucks. We have made it, and my voice has barely made it. It's definitely hanging on by a thread right now, so I'm gonna finish out this video. I hope you guys enjoyed yet another Dear Perfume Snobs video in this little series. Let me know if you want me to do more of these types of videos and which fragrance categories you want me to focus on. But yeah, that is it for me today. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!